Here's Willow. He's out here checking on the garden, and Willow's over here hanging out by me. Oh, hanging out with his mama too. She's just eating grass. Of course, we got all the other sheep and that goat sleeping in the food truck. Anyways, they're all just hanging out. So let's go ahead and do a garden update. Yeah. Anyways, there's Willow. This garden bed I never actually finished. I went to finish it, and the boards I had for the side were too short by about 4 inches. And because I never finished it, our duck decided to build a nest there. So we've got a duck sitting on eggs in what should have been one of the garden beds. We get over this garden bed, the flowers are doing amazing. It's been about 4 days since we've had rain now, and we pull a couple weeds while I'm talking. But yeah, so it's been about 4 days since we've had rain, and the garden is still looking pretty good and producing. This one's looking a little dry actually. I need to come in here and prune some of this lower stuff off on that tomato, but that tomato has just been beat up by chickens repeatedly. The end of it was broken off, so I've just let some of these suckers grow, and some of the suckers are getting chewed off. But I need to prune that one up a bit. Over here, I've got one tomato that's getting to be a good size there, and then this one, yeah, I need to water today because, like I said, it's been about 4 days since we've had rain, and yeah, but the mint's doing good. The radishes are way beyond when they should have been picked. I've got a few of the onions starting to bulb up. That radish over there gone to seed. Here's a cluster of tomatoes here that have been pecked at a bit, so the skins are looking a little bad, but they're just starting to turn yellow. I'm not even sure what variety of tomatoes they are, but hopefully we'll get some tomatoes off of that. They don't have to be the prettiest tomatoes just to be edible. So, anyways, this is that really bad looking tomato plant. It was one of our better ones, but like I said, the chickens won't leave it alone. They've chewed basically every end of it off. Yeah, that's gonna, but we've got other tomato plants that are doing good. I may end up just having to pull that tomato plant out, but I'm gonna start with just pruning all the lower limbs, and on this one. I may just have to pull it out, but like I said, I'll start with pruning up all the lower limbs and seeing if we can get it to grow, because we've got a good sucker out of the top of it there, but I don't know. I got to get rid of the stuff that's touching the ground too. I got some lettuce that's just coming up between the flowers there that seems to be doing pretty good. Yeah, anyways, there's tomatoes on all of that. Back over, this is the one where the duck's got a nest. In here I've got some melons or squash, I don't remember. I think these are cantaloupe type melons, and then some sweet potato coming up in there. Sweet potato right there, sweet potato right there, but not growing very well yet. And these melons are starting to flower, so we'll see how they do. Over here, the potatoes are starting to get spots on their leaves and turn a little yellow, but this pumpkin is growing out of there and starting to run. And then over here, not sure exactly what type of squash that is. I don't remember exactly where they planted where, but yeah, oops, I peeled a leaf off of it. Something broke the squash leaf. But anyways, that's starting around. The chickens were digging holes in this garden here and there, and so I filled them in with mulch from the mulch pile. And look at that chicken, just waiting on me to leave so we can come back over here and dig more holes in the garden. So he's a chicken that's got to go. Anyways, we had some, these are the cucumbers. We had some cucumbers that were actually starting, and I don't think okay, you can see there's one right there. They're not big yet, like I said, they're just starting. There's another one right down there. There's several of them starting, but nothing really getting big. I think we need some pollinators in here to pollinate these so they can grow. We've got plenty of flowers in the area to attract pollinators, but I haven't seen any bees. Yeah, getting over here, a lot more flowers on the cucumbers, but not a lot of cucumbers. And I mean, I planted them all along this trellis so they would climb, and they're spreading out on the ground instead of climbing up the trellis. Let me try and they're grabbing onto all the grass and everything else around. See if I can pull some of these weeds they're grabbing onto and redirect it up the trellis. Maybe? Maybe. We'll see if that grows up the trellis. But yeah, I don't mind some of them coming out as long as some of them are also going up. Maybe I should redirect all of them up the trellis, but they're covering the ground pretty well in that spot anyways. Around this side there's more cucumbers, but there's also a watermelon growing here and here that hasn't even started to run yet. Whatever this, I think, yeah, I don't know why the leaves on that one are so yellow. It might be getting dry. Also, where it started, it doesn't have as much room for roots because it started right on, basically on top of that log. I didn't plant it there. When I planted this garden bed, the chickens came in here and dug it up, and they spread some of the seeds, ate most of the seeds. And so a lot of what I planted is not where I planted it anymore. Anyways, we got a pumpkin or some sort of winter squash growing right here. It's running pretty good. Like I said, its seed is coming out right there. I think that's pretty close to where I planted it. This one though is not. I didn't plant anything right along the edge of that log, but a lot of the seeds are coming up, or some of them are coming up from right along the edge. This one with variegated leaves, again, it's another type of winter squash. And it's starting. But yeah, get that chicken just sitting there waiting, like, are you gonna leave soon so I can eat your garden? Yeah. Over here there was a hole they dug about a foot deep. I had to fill it in with mulch here. It basically dug up the roots of this tomato plant, and so I needed to fill that back in. Got it filled back in right before starting the video. Another hole there, and there's tomatoes growing. I need to make sure I'm not stepping on something. I need to pull this tomato through there to make sure it's supported. There we go. This one's growing through it on its own. More tomatoes on it. Yeah, I've got to get this garden fenced over the next couple of years, and then, well, before next year's garden is what I mean to say. I've got to get it fenced before next year's garden and get some, get some stuff, get the garden beds fixed up in here. But yeah, I've planned to fence an area, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, about 100 foot by about 70 or 60 foot. Anyways, about 100 by 60, so about a 6,000 square foot garden was the plan. And I've got all the T-posts for it in the gate. I just need to get the fence wire, and then I'll get the fencing up. I never planted anything on this garden bed this year. I just never really got it prepped and ready to go. And I put mulch on about half of it. Need to finish the rest of it, cut the weeds back and finish mulching it. But it's getting a little late in the season, but I could still plant some pumpkins there for a fall harvest, I think. But let's say hi to Willow again. He's coming over to the gate to see us. Hey Willow. Oh, you're gonna run away. Oh, and back to eating. His mama's doing a pretty good job. I want to say thank you everybody, thank you to all our new subscribers and for everybody watching the live streams with Willow. It's been doing great for the channel. 400 new subscribers over the last week. It's awesome. Thank you. And again, if you like these videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and watch more of our stuff. We appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.